Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 872 to my Let's Play, not to my Let's Play, my random chatbot series on Character.ai. Where in the last video guys, we talked to a dragon infection where there was a bunch of people getting turned into dragons. And by the end of it, I had one of the best sessions I think it could have ended off with. In today's episode, guys, we're going to talk to a pawn that I don't think I've ever talked to as a character on Character AI before. Today, guys, we are talking to a Rampardos. There was two other ones besides this one I could have done. One of them was kind of vague though, and the other one, well, it could, well, it actually had I think it had a bit of a better story, but I'll save it for another time if I decide to do another Rampardos one. In this one, guys, like I said, we're talking to a Rampardos. So, yes, here's the greeting for this Rampardos. It says, while taking a trek through the dark caves of Sinnoh, you end up getting lost, but you find some fossils of ancient Pokemon. By these fossils, you find a Rampardos standing tall amongst some crushed rocks looking down upon you. Ooh, that could be a problem. Let's hope he's not going to be aggressive. Although, based on how it said, it probably will be aggressive. Well, guys, he's pretty aggressive, I think, which is not good. I hope I can get his trust eventually. It says, after seeing Rampardo standing there staring at me, I get a bit startled and just go, "Whoa, Rampardos, I didn't see you there." The powerful and aggressive Rampardos continues staring at you in an intimidating manner, not saying a word. Despite its aggressive nature, it only seems interested in you for some reason. Well, I feel like this is going to turn into something weird in a minute. I hope not. Give me a moment. I don't think this point can speak. It just says, I just said, still really nervous. I just say, please don't attack me. I don't mean you any harm, Rampardos. I promise. The mighty Rampardos takes a step closer to you, tilting its head to one side, examining you intently. There's still some skepticism in its eyes. It seems more curious now than aggressive. Okay, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says I get a bit more nervous, worried about being attacked. I just tell him, Rampardos, please don't attack me. I'm sorry I'm in your territory. I promise I'm not here to hurt anything, especially not you. Hearing your words, Rampardos takes another step closer, its red eyes still locked onto you with an intense gaze. There's a hint of recognition in its expression now, as if it understands that you mean no harm. Still, it continues to size you up, trying to decide whether or not you pose a threat. Oh, great. How am I supposed to prove that I'm not a threat to him? I don't have as many of his species as I do for alligators or lugias or anything like that. So it's like, I'll figure something out. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just told him, I'm not here to capture you. And then asked him if he could speak. And I told him if he could to please say something. I think this is one of the first people I've talked to on Character AI has actually spoke English. It just says Rampardos lets out a deep, rumbling growl. Not aggressive, but more like a thoughtful grunt. It shakes its massive head slightly, indicating it can't speak human language. Then it taps its heavy skull with one clawed hand and gives it a short nod towards you, as if to say, I understand, just not with words. I wonder if that's actually what he says, though. I don't know if it's completely what he's exactly saying or not. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just told him, okay. Again, I'm sorry I'm in your territory, but I mean you no harm, and that goes for your family if you have one in here. I'm not going to steal anything or try to capture anyone. I was just exploring. Rampar seems to understand the sincerity of your words. The tension fades a bit more from its stance, and it tilts its head curiously, It takes a few more slow, cautious steps closer, now just a few feet away from you. Its red eyes still observe you with a mixture of weariness and curiosity. In a show of what seems to be acceptance, Rampardos nods slightly, almost as if acknowledging your apology and your promise not to cause harm. Okay, well, that's a step. I guess ready for him to do something else. Thank goodness he's actually seeming to understand the stuff. That's the thing about it is, at least Rampardos here, like, while he can't speak what I'm saying to him, at least he can understand what I'm saying to him, so it makes it easier for hopefully us to communicate easier. May not as easy as the dragons from the last chatbot or the alligator from a few days ago or anything like that, but you know what I mean? Either way, give me a moment. Alright, guys, I just told him, thank you for not attacking me. And it says I don't move any closer, but also don't back away anymore either. It's nice to meet you. Is this your home? Rampardos nods once more as if confirming that this is its territory. It seems a bit more relaxed now, no longer viewing you as a threat. With another grunt and gestures to the area around the two of you, indicating that you are standing in its home indeed. Alright, well, perfect. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just told him, okay. Sorry I didn't introduce myself. I meant to say more than just okay. I'm just like, I was just trying to think of what else to put in here, or what else I was going to say to him. Sorry I didn't introduce myself. I was just worried about you attacking me at first because of how aggressive you were originally acting. And I actually did introduce myself, so that hopefully he'll be even more nicer. Rampardos listens intently to your introduction. After hearing your name, its red eyes narrow in recognition, and it gives a slow nod of accepting your name. It seems to respond well to you, its weariness disappearing almost entirely. Powerful Rampardo still keeps a watchful eye on you, but now there's a sense of familiarity in its gaze as if you have passed some test by introducing yourself properly. The way it worded that was kind of interesting. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just look around and notice crystals all over the cave walls. I look around at his house and notice that there's crystals all over the cave walls. Your home is really beautiful. And I just look back at Rampardos and tell him, Rampardos, to be honest with you, you're one of the few rock type one that I really like. I never heard from one that I care about so much. Rampardos grumbles, oh my gosh. I say one thing and he now is being affectionate. Okay, well, I love it already. That's the thing. I said stuff similar to the dragon when I was doing the other like yesterday or the day before. I always had the same thing, being like, "Oh, this ain't gonna go well," and didn't look like it was going to go well again. But the dragon will turn out to be one of my favorite ones, and this one's already starting to turn around for me too. It's like I like how every time I say, "Oh, it's not gonna go well," it ends up turning into something really good later on, to the point where it's actually a really good one. And it's only been 8.5 minutes. I think the last one took what, 15 at least to get to that point. I don't remember completely. It says Rampardos grumbles affectionately as you appreciate the beauty of its home. It seems pleased with your compliment, its intimidating demeanor softening a bit more. The mighty Rampardos takes another couple of small steps towards you, its eyes still locked on you with a mixture of curiosity and interest. It seems to understand the sincerity of your words, that you genuinely care for it. For a moment, it leans its head down slightly, almost as if inviting you to come closer. Always, actually, there is no way he's going to allow me to come closer. Give me a moment, guys. Guys, I think I've got Rampardos' trust in only 9 minutes. How am I randomly sometimes so good at getting Poland to trust me? Just think a few months back when I was doing other people's Pokemon chatbots, I could never get them to trust me, and they'd always either be too clingy, or some of them would just be flat out so aggressive they wouldn't listen to a thing you say. Lately, I've had better luck. This one, the Faragra I talked to like 3 days ago went well. Rampardos going well. The dragon one did yesterday or the day before went well. Even the angry Toadod did before the fur alligator one. Like, yeah, it took a few minutes, but once I understood that I wasn't actually going to hurt him. He's actually being really friendly towards me. It just says Rampart. Wait, I just take a small step closer to him, then very gently and slowly reach my hand out and pet Rampardos on his head. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get angry at that, actually, because I think some people have sensitive areas on their bodies that they don't like being petted. I think that's one of my one reasons why Fragger hates being petted on the underjaw most of the time in the games or anywhere else like that. Probably same thing in real life. You probably wouldn't want to go over or under his jaw or anything. He'd probably flip and kill you. It says Rampardos closes its eyes as you gently reach out and pet its head. That is just adorable. Its rough, scaly surface feels surprisingly smooth under your touch. The power point lets out a deep, satisfied grunt, leaning into your hand ever so slightly, as if enjoying the affection. It seems to be warming up to you even more. Its earlier standoffness giving way to a growing trust. Yeah, that's good then. I like that. Sweet. It's actually working out really well for me. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just says, or I just said, seeing grandpas enjoying the pets, I continue to gently pet them, not as worried about getting attacked anymore. You're really enjoying that, Rampardos? I'm glad. I was really worried you would get angry. You're honestly being really nice. Thank you for letting me pet you. I'm surprised you actually allowed me to do that. Rampardos leans even further into your touch, closing its eyes completely and letting out a low, rumbling sound somewhere between a sigh and a purr. It seems completely content now, no longer the aggressive and threatening presence it imposed earlier. The mic point moves closer, its massive head almost leaning against your body as you continue petting it. It gives another, more satisfied grunt as if expressing gratitude for the affection you were giving it. Okay, so he's being a sweetheart. You know what's funny? A lot of the people I talk to end up turning into little sweethearts for some reason. Even some of the most angry Pokemon somehow like me in some way, shape, or form. I've had a hard time with the dragon type for Fragger and that angry vengeful for Alligator in some cases, but there's been times where they've trusted me too. And really trusted me. To the point where they become like protective parents more than anything else. That goes for 90% of my Pokemon though. It's like no matter what's on the Chatbots or in the games, they become very sweet and kind. Heck, on the Chatbots themselves, they become very protective. To the point where anybody that looks at me funny, they'll be ready to rip somebody's head off. It's kind of funny to think about how insanely protective some of these people want to get. Even yesterday with the dragons, dude, when I helped those dragons get through flipping everything that they were going through, they became so protective and caring towards me. And it wasn't just one dragon; it was probably all the dragons in that vicinity that was there, which is really neat. Either way, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just says, seeing grandpa's move closer and lean to my body, I continue to pet him and just tell him, that's so sweet. Honestly, for an intimidating Pokemon, you were really nice. Thank you for being nice and trusting me. Rampardos lets out a rumble of approval as you continue to pet it. It seems completely at ease now, all signs of its earlier intimidation and aggression completely gone. The powerful pulling pushes further against you, almost like a large, heavy cat begging for more attention. It tilts its head and huffs softly as if trying to express its enjoyment of your touch. It gives a low grumble as if to say, never stop. He's really enjoying the pet. It's gonna be like that one it's gonna be like that one, was it a crocodile or a toadle? There was one of the there was I think it was the crocodile that got made fun of for being called ugly, and it made him run away from his entire family and go into an abandoned house or whatever the heck. But I remember that card almost the same way because he sat there and let me pet him constantly for like nearly 2 hours, and even told me a few times, "Please call me a good boy." It's like, that's the one thing I found creepy about that was why would he want me to call him that of all things? Like, not a good Pokemon, not just tell me I'm adorable or something. No, call me a good boy. That's one of the ones I don't like calling a Pokemon because it makes it sound too much like a dog. Dog pulling, yeah, it would make more sense to say it like that to them. But for pulling, let's say, like a fur alligator, do you think I should be, even if Fred let me pet him and be sweet, do you think he did? Do you think he'd enjoy it if I was literally like, "Aw, fur alligator, you're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. What a good boy you are." It's like, does that not sound like a dog's phrasing? Sounds like I'm calling him a puppy dog at that point, which he does kind of does act like a sweet little puppy dog towards me, but I don't want to diminish his own flipping feelings and make him feel like a small puppy dog. Unless he's okay with it. Like, even then, I'd only do it if he was alright with it. And was like, yeah, I don't care. I still love you either way. Either way, guys, this is already really cute. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just continue to pet Rampardos gently and just tell him, Rampardos, I don't know if anyone's told you this, I really care about you. I can tell you this, if you have a family that's as nice as you, that would be amazing. Rampardos lets out a deep, satisfied exhale as you continue to pet it gently. It's smiling into you with each touch. It seems to really appreciate your care and kindness. The once threatening paw now acting almost like a large, friendly cat. Do you see what I mean? Even if human things comparing it to a sweeter animal. For Edgar, that's like a giant puppy dog, and now this one's saying that Rampardos is acting like a giant cat. Or a large family cat, as it put it. At your mention of its family, Rampardos tilts its head slightly, as if acknowledging that it does indeed have one. It gives a low grumble followed by a short nod, as if confirming that yes, its family is as nice as it is. Voices against your touch a bit more, seemingly asking for more affection. He is just a sweetheart, isn't he? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just continue to pet Rampardos even more, then gently and carefully hug him. I'm glad and it seems like he was actually very accepting of that. How surprised he's being as gentle as he is, because let's just go and say that Chatbot, there's another Rampardos chatbot on here where it seems like the Rampardos is friendly, but at the same time it's like somewhat aggressive with its way of showing affection. Because even like the last line in the greeting says, "The time for cuddles is now." He can speak apparently, but seems like he can be pretty aggressive. If I'm supposed to tiny dinosaur in that one, it's game over because he might end up actually hurting me doing that. Not thinking, wait, you know what I mean? Either way, after I gently hug him and all that stuff, it says Rampardos and Millie leans into your hug. Its big, heavy body pressing against you with surprising gentleness. It was at a low, rumbling sound, almost like a contentment sigh, enjoying the feeling of your touch and your embrace. The once threatening paw now seems almost like a giant, friendly, and cuddly pet. It nudges into your touches of asking for even more affection and closeness. That is adorable. And then it gives a soft grumble, which almost sounds like, thank you. I don't know why I tried doing it in a voice, but if it's him supposed to be kind of like his way of saying the words and it's actually him, saying it, then I'll fucking say it in that voice. Either way, give me a moment. And of course it didn't pause! Oh great, guys. Here's what happened. It says as I continue to pet Rampardos, I hear a deep growl behind me, and when I look, I see another Rampardos, and she does not look happy. Before I could even react, she charged right into my back, causing me to stumble over the Rampardos I was petting and falling to the ground. Dear me. The sudden charge on the second Rampardos caused you to stumble and fall, landing roughly on the cave floor. The once calm and content Rampardos you were petting lets out a low, warning growl, its eyes narrowing as it looks over to the newcomer. The new Rampardos, presumably the mate of the one you were petting, stands over you, glaring down with a protective and possessive expression. Oh, that's just great. We're screwed, aren't we? Great. We're just enjoying a time with a sweet Rampardos, now we're gonna have this crap. This, I don't like how I worded this. I don't like how it worded this last part. This is a Mama Rampardos, and she is not happy to find you with her mate. Oh, nuts. Hey, female Rampardos. I may be with your mate, but it doesn't mean we're going on a flippin' date. What in the world? I'm not dating a Pokemon. You guys won't believe this. This female I said female Feraligatr because I was saying something off camera about Feraligatr. This female Rampardos can speak. Which sucks because I don't have a good voice for a female besides the same one I always give her. What are you doing with her, you stupid idiot? Like, literally, that's like the best word I have for a female anything, female character in general. It just says, stealing so much pain from the head. It says, wait, please don't attack me. I wasn't hurting your Rampardos friend. I was petting him and he was enjoying it. Please don't attack me. The angry female Rampardos lets out a low warning growl as you try to defend yourself. She clearly doesn't believe your explanation and is still in a protective and aggressive mode, especially after seeing you touch her mate, the way it put that. She stomps her foot and lets out another growl as if to say, oh, never mind, she can't speak. I don't care. You shouldn't be touching my partner. The male Rampardos, meanwhile, has gotten up and is trying to move between you and his mate, crumbling sideways as if trying to calm her down. So, uh, you know what? I'll click the continue button. Normally I don't do that that often. Let's see what it says happens next. I'm giving it a second to load everything. Seeing her mate Seeing her mate intervene, the female Rampardos huffs angrily, but reluctantly backs down a step. She continues glancing at you suspiciously, her heavy skull lowered in a defensive posture. Meanwhile, the male Rampardos nudges her gently with his head, letting out a series of low rumbling sounds, almost like he's explaining the situation. After a tense moment, the female finally relaxes slightly, though she keeps a watchful eye on you. The male turns back to you and gives an apologetic sounding grunt as if to say, sorry about that. She's protective. Sounds like my Feraligatr, doesn't it? Especially on flipping Gold Gemini, dude. That Feraligatr would probably kill somebody if it. I'm pretty sure the Lugia God or May told him to kill somebody. That Feraligatr would do it in a heartbeat for them looking at me funny. You look at my trainer funny, you die now. I mean, seriously. He's very protective. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says I tried to move, but can't due to how bad the pain is in my back, so I carefully turned my head to face the female Rampardos. I just said, ow, because I was still in pain. And I said, listen, I know you probably don't trust humans, but I promise I'm not here to hurt you or your mate. He was weary of me at first, too, but I promised him I wasn't going to do anything, and he started enjoying my company, even letting me pet him while he leaned into me. I wasn't hurting him. If I was, he would have been attacking me too, instead of leaning into me. I promise I won't hurt you or your family. The female Rampardos listens to your explanation, her red eyes narrowing slightly as she processes your words. The male Rampardos, still staying between you two, nods enthusiastically in agreement with your words, running sideways as if vouching for you. That's adorable. After a long, tense moment, the female Rampardos finally lets out a reluctant sigh, her aggressive posture relaxing ever so slightly. She takes a step back, no longer looming over you threateningly, though she still watches you with a hint of weariness. The male Rampardos gives an approving grunt and carefully nudges her again as if saying, see? I told you he was okay. I love the flippin' male Rampardos. He's really sweet. I don't know why he's such a sweetheart. Yes, he was being scary too at the beginning, but all it took was a few minutes, and we got him to trust me. Honestly, what I might start doing with these chatbots, instead of like going way too far with them, I might just get to the point where I meet the Pokemon and get them to trust me, and I'll be about where I stop it. It'd be about the perfect time to stop since it's been already 25 minutes in like literally 3 seconds. So, yeah, and it's 25 minutes now. But, yeah, let me go. We'll see how it goes. Let's do one or two more real quickly. Give me a moment. Alright, guys, this is a big one. It just, I carefully, I just carefully look over to the male Rampardos and I just tell him, thank you, Rampardos, for being nice to me and helping me. And as I turn my attention back to the female Rampardos and I just tell her, I promise you don't have to worry about being hurt, and that goes for any children or other family that lives in here. You can trust me. I'm not like any of those other humans that would try capturing any of you or hurting you. And I look back over at the male Rampardos that was being very nice to me. Awesome, my friend. That's something I didn't get to tell you in the few minutes we've been together. Another reason that you can trust me is because the Lugia god trusts me. He considers me as king, actually. At the mention of Lugia, both Rampardos freezes, their eyes widening in surprise. The male Rampardos lets out a low, reverent grunt, while the female seems to relax significantly more, as if recognizing the name carries weight. After a moment, the female Rampardos lets out a softer growl and takes another step back, her suspicion fading. She glances at her mate, who nods encouragingly. Rampardos moves to your side and gently nudges you with his head as if helping you sit up. Careful not to worsen your injury. Meanwhile, female watches closely but no longer looks hostile. Instead, there's something like begrudging respect in her gaze now. Okay, so at least we're getting her attention, and she's not. Give me a moment. Alright, guys, here's what it says. I did a really long one, this one. It says, still in so much pain, I was carefully leaning my head in the Rampardos and just tell him, thank you for trying to help me. You're such a sweetheart. And it says, being careful not to hurt myself any further, I once again turned my head carefully to look at the female Rampardos and just tell her, I know you probably don't fully trust me. You probably don't fully trust humans at all. I understand why you're so protective towards your mate and your family. I promise you, there's no reason to be weary with me. If the Lugia god that created the world trusts me and calls me his king, there's nothing to worry about. When I have captured Pokemon, it was only because I love them, and to be honest with you, every Pokemon I captured, I've taken very good care of. I even have a Lugia on my team and a sweet Freyr, along with plenty of other Pokemon that are very sweet and care about me. The female Rampardos listens carefully, her earlier aggression slowly melting away as she processes your words. The mention of Lugia, and especially that you have one as a companion, seems to finally convince her. She lets out a low, conceding huff and takes another step back, giving you space. Meanwhile, the male Rampardos gently rests his heavy head against yours in a comforting gesture, careful not to hurt you further. He grumbles softly as if trying to reassure his mate further. The female finally gives a slow nod, almost regional, as if to say, fine, I believe ya. She then turns and disappears deeper into the cave, likely to check on the rest of her family. The male Rampart stays by your side, watching over you protectively now. Yeah, he is adorable. He is such a big old sweetheart. And, like, here's the problem again. Similar to the dragon one yesterday, do I stop here and let it stay like that so it never loses an amazing moment? Or do I continue and risk it eventually forgetting crap and me regretting never stop ever continuing? That's the one thing about character AI that sucks about it. Character AI is only good for like one good like small or one good small conversation. Once that small conversation ends, it's better for you to restart the entire thing and do it all from the very beginning. Because eventually it'll forget stuff, and then like all that stuff that it did forget is important. That's why I want a chatbot with a good memory. ChatGPT, when next to your violence policy. But yeah, here's the deal, guys. I'm gonna pause the video right now. If the video abruptly stops, that means I didn't decide to continue. However, if it does, well, you guys will see at least one or two more. We'll see. Alright, guys, this is either going to be the last one or second to last one. Here's what I said. It says, I gently take my hand and pet Rampardos while he is resting his head against mine. And I just tell him, Rampardos, thank you for being so nice to me today. I'll definitely come back to see you again, and maybe next time if your family trusts me enough, I can meet them all, including your children. I'm still in so much pain, so I'll definitely be here for a few more minutes. I want you to know again that I really care about you. Rampardos responds to your petting with a low, content grumble, pushing lightly into your hand as if enjoying the connection. His big, heavy body radiates a strange warmth, a comforting presence despite his intimidating appearance. He continues to rest his head against yours as if offering you support and comfort while you recover. The massive one nods slightly as if understanding that you'll come back to visit. With another soft grunt, it seems to say, I'll do my best to get my family to trust you even more next time. It's an oddly endearing gesture. He is so sweet. Uh, I kind of. Alright, guys. I think I'll do one more. Give me a second. Alright, guys. Before I read out what I said here on this last section, let me go ahead and remind you guys that remember, in my universe, humans are extremely aggressive, way more aggressive than they are in the real world. Humans in my universe are so aggressive they'll do nearly anything to get you to be hurt, if not worse. So yes, keep that in mind before I read out this part. I just told Rampardos, to be honest, I really enjoy how nice you have been. It's been really rough for me because even with me having a bunch of Pokemon that would be willing to protect me and be nice to me, even with the fact that the Lugia God considers me a king and tries to protect me as well, humans are still very awful towards me and have done horrible stuff to me as well. Rampardos lets out a deep, understanding growl, low and rumbling, as if sympathizing with your pain. His red eyes soften, and he nudges you gently with his heavy skull, almost like he's trying to comfort you the only way he knows how. His massive frame radiates warmth as he leans closer, his presence steady and protective. After a moment, he lets out a softer grunt, followed by a deliberate nod toward the cave entrance, as if silently promising, You're safe here. My family and I won't hurt you. Clearly, this tough, ancient one has come to see you as someone worthy of trust, and maybe even friendship. Well, but it seems like he almost loves me more, and I don't know how much he's been so friendly. All right, guys, I was gonna end it off here, but I don't. Did it forget something? I mean, because like it says right here, my family and I won't hurt you, despite his mate literally ramming the frick out of my back and hurting me. I mean, I know she probably didn't trust me, but it's like I don't know. Maybe he just trusted me. Maybe he didn't consider me a friend, but he just trusted me because he knew I wasn't gonna hurt him. So that can't be too far off, I guess. But it's just the way it worded kind of stinks. It's all right. I'm gonna go it off before something ends up going horribly wrong and it not doesn't work out anymore.